A change in the front office for the New York Red Bulls, 2 games on the MLS docket on Wednesday, and a Real Salt Lake star atop the Castrol Index next on the Daily. Hey everybody, Wednesday here at MLSsoccer.com, here with the MLS insider Josh Weisenhunt. I'm Nick Fershaw, the plaid shirt edition of the Daily, and we'll start off with some news from the New York Red Bulls. A big game looming against the Chicago Fire this weekend on NBC, but first off, some big news on Tuesday. Eric Soler, the general manager, on his way out.
Yeah, Nick, it really was a shock announcement. Obviously, Soler is out as GM at Red Bull Arena. Former AS Monaco president Jerome Desbontin is in, and a lot of people are questioning really the timing. Why make this move now, considering some of the moves that Eric Soler has made in his tenure as GM? Obviously, a great trade this year that's really worked out for them, acquiring Heath Pierce in exchange for Juan Agudelo, bringing in guys like Marcus Holgerson, and of course, you know, the big names that no one can forget, Rafa Marquez, Thierry Henry, and Tim Cahill in his time at the helm. So we'll see how that roster that he really put together will perform throughout the rest of the season without him kind of at the top overseeing things. Soler
will stay on as a consultant for the Red Bulls, but you're right, this roster has his fingerprints all over it. All those guys he brought in, Holgerson, Cahill. We'll see how the Red Bulls can do in the postseason, but first they've got a big matchup against the Chicago Fire on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on the NBC flagship network. Catch a live chat on MLSsoccer.com. Well, the Chicago Fire back in action on Wednesday night. One of 2 games on the MLS docket. They're at home against the Philadelphia Union, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on MLS Live. They're celebrating their 15th anniversary tonight, and they need a big win over the Union to keep pace with the guys out in the East.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, they had the loss on Friday against Sporting Kansas City, but the vibe you got from the Fire was that that wasn't quite a huge disaster. However, what they do need tonight is 3 points at home against the Philadelphia Union side that are out of the playoff race, especially going into this huge match with New York on Saturday afternoon. But they'll have to do it with Pavel Pardo. He's still out, of course, and he's still a doubt for Saturday.
Well, we mentioned at the 15th anniversary celebration for the Chicago Fire, 3 guys on hand at halftime, some former greats for the club. Chris Armas, Cuauhtemoc Blanco, and get this, Peter Novak, the former manager for the Philadelphia Union. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, you can catch the game on MLS Live. Now the nightcap out west, the Vancouver Whitecaps with a lot at stake. They're at home against Chivas USA, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can catch it on MLS Live. We know all about that draw against the Seattle Sounders, and the Whitecaps just a little bit above FC Dallas, but you got to assume they're going to get some points against Chivas.
Yeah, well, but at this point they really need to, because they're saying themselves that there's no margin for error. Of course, that game at home against Seattle over the weekend was very disappointing considering some of the late chances that they had. And of course, Camilo, who was at the end of that last one, he'll get another chance to go tonight. It looks like Darren Maddox is pretty doubtful. Probably not going to be able to go after that hamstring injury he suffered on Saturday night as well.
So the Whitecaps at home against Chivas USA. Chivas USA is going to play an interesting part in this Western Conference postseason race. They're at home against FC Dallas this weekend. Tonight's game, 10 p.m. Eastern on MLS Live. Well, the latest weekly rankings from the Castrol Index are out, and on top it's Alvaro Saborio from Real Salt Lake, a hat trick in that big 4-0 win over Chivas USA. And this is impressive because a lot of guys put up some good numbers this weekend.
Yeah, certainly, but it is tough to argue Saborio there at the top. And you're right, Nick, there were some strong performances throughout the league. A lot of goal scorers joining him in the top 5. Number 2, Kenny Cooper, followed by Blas Perez, Marcus Holgerson, defender for the New York Red Bulls, and Steven Lenhart there at number 5.
Steven Lenhart, one of those Quakes guys that's done very well statistically this year. They actually have 3 of the top 7 guys, including Alan Gordon. He's on top of the list overall this season, followed by Robbie Keane from the LA Galaxy, Danny Kuvermans from Toronto FC. Saborio comes in at number 4, and Chris Wondolowski in at number 5. You can find the latest rankings from the Castrol Index on MLSsoccer.com. That does it for us on this edition of the Daily. Make sure you log on to the site for all the latest information in those 2 big games midweek, Vancouver and Chicago Fire at home. Some big games with some postseason implications. Find all the info on MLSsoccer.com.